All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Hawah Kwakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and Israelite foreign and scattered abroad. All right, this is an article I came across a few days ago, and it's a few people in so-called black alternative media have been talking about it. But of course, nothing mainstream. You ain't got no mainstream media, your ABC, your Fox. They haven't picked up on, I guess because they couldn't push a certain narrative that, that the mainstream media wants to push, so it wasn't important for them to push this story out. But as you can see, it's entitled Black Children Were Jailed for a Crime That Doesn't Exist. Almost nothing happened to the adults in charge. So, this shit is so disgusting, and, they after the children, man. From the stuff they putting on, all the superheroes are now homosexual. You got Superman coming out as homosexual the other day, last week, and as you can see in the title of this story, black children were jailed for a crime that didn't exist. And when I read, I'm gonna read a lot of this story. I ain't gonna read it all. I'll leave a description, the article in the description box. But it's just unbelievable why they arrested these children. And little girls at that too. I'm gonna read some of this story, man. This shit is ridiculous, and Esau proves day in and day out that they are the fucking devil that the Bible, talks about. Okay? Judge Donna Scott Davenport, yes, some Edomite chick, oversees a juvenile justice system in Rutherford County, Tennessee, with a staggering history of jailing children. She said kids must face consequences, which rarely seem to apply to her and the other adults in charge. And they've been caught time and time again when you got these judges funneling black kids through the prison system for profit. So that's nothing new. And this could possibly, most likely, be the scenario that's going on right here, okay, in this Tennessee county. Okay. Chapter 1, Where in the World. Friday, April 15, 2016, elementary school, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. 3 police officers were crowded into assistant principal office at Hobgood Elementary School, and Tammy Garrett, the school's principal, had no idea what to do. One officer wearing a tactical vest was telling her, "Go get the kids." A second officer was telling her, "Don't go get the kids." The third officer wasn't saying anything. Garrett knew the police had been sent to arrest some children, although exactly which children, it would turn out, was unclear to everyone, even these officers. The names police had given the principal included 4 girls, now sitting in a classroom throughout the school, and all 4 were black. There were a 6th grader, 2 4th graders, and a 3rd grader. The youngest was 8. On this sunny Friday afternoon in spring, she wore her hair in pigtails. A few weeks before, a video had appeared on YouTube. It showed 2 small boys, 5 and 6. So they talking about a fight between 5 and 6-year-olds, okay, throwing feeble punches at a larger boy as he walked away, while other kids tagged along, some yelling. The scuffle took place off school grounds after a game of pickup basketball. One kid insulted another kid's mother. Is where it started it all. So this is a still shot of the kids fighting. You know how small these kids are. Like I said, it was 5 and 6 years old. It said screenshots of heavily filtered video originally posted on YouTube showing a scuffle among small children that took place off school grounds. So they got it blurred out. The police were at Hobgood because of that video, but they hadn't come for the boys who threw punches. They were there for the children who looked on. So these Edomites made it a crime to watch a fight. They didn't want the kids who... So that's how they criminalizing our kids and our people in general. They just make up all kind of grievous laws to just They just like when they so-called freed Jake in slavery, what they do? They made up loitering laws, knowing Jake didn't have anywhere to go. So they made up a loitering law, so you just hanging around, hanging out, they can arrest you again and put you back in the system. So just how these damn devils roll. Ain't nothing new under the sun. The same thing they did before, they doing it now. Making up grievous laws to put our people back in the system. Okay. They were here for the children who looked on. The police in Murfreesboro, a fast-growing city about 30 miles northeast of Nashville, has secured juvenile petition for 10 children and all who are accused of failing to stop the fight. If that ain't bullshit, I don't know what it is. And the crazy part, look, I was just saw on Instagram today where people were posting about, I think it happened in New Jersey, where a woman's on a train full of people getting raped and everybody put out their phone. Are they going to charge them with failing to stop a rape? No. You know what I mean? Hell, we wouldn't have videos on the internet if people, took it upon themselves to break up fights. All the fights you see on Facebook and YouTube, it was people there watching and recording. They're not getting charged with that. Why? Because it's not a crime. But they want to make up a crime to put these children in jail. Okay. I'm going to read the report over. Murfreesboro, a fast-growing city about 30 miles southeast of Nashville, has secured juvenile petition for 10 children and all who were accused of failing to stop the fight. Officers were now rounding up kids, even though the department couldn't identify a single one in the video, which was posted with a filter that made the faces fuzzy. See, they can't even. They just know they know there was some little black kids, and we gonna arrest somebody. What was clear were the voices, including the one girl trying to break up the fight, saying, "Stop, Tay-Tay, stop, Tay-Tay." So apparently the girl was trying to break up the fight. Even though not breaking up a fight is not a crime. She was a fourth grader at Hopkins. Her initials were EJ. So they wanted to lock these children up so bad they're going by their voices. So I'm curious to how they determine, that they were the kids there by their voices. What procedure or method did they use to obtain that knowledge, that these were the right kids? The confusion at Hopgood, one officer saying this, another saying that, could be traced in part to absence. Check this out. This is some shit right here. A police officer regularly assigned to Hopgood, who knew the students and staff, had bailed that morning after learning about the planned arrest. The thought of arresting these children caused him so much stress that he feared he might cry in front of them. So the normal, probably Edomite cop there that know the kids heard about it, they were going to come and arrest these kids, and he didn't come to work that day because the stress would be too much for him. He'd probably cry in front of them. Instead of him being there taking up for him, saying, "No, this ain't right, don't do this," he just didn't show up to work that day. And they trying to make it seem like, I guess he's a good guy, he couldn't take it to see these kids arrested. Even though he knew it was some bullshit. Okay? The thought of arresting these children caused him such stress that he feared he might cry in front of them or have a heart attack. He wanted nothing to do with it, so he complained of chest pains and went home with no warrant to his feelings about what was in store. So he didn't tell nobody. He didn't tell the principal, none of the teachers. He didn't want the students. He didn't call the children's parents. Nothing. He just dipped out. Also absent was the police officer who had investigated the video and instigated these arrests, Crystal Templeton. She had assured the principal she would be there. She had told Garrett there would be no handcuffs, but the police would be discreet. But Templeton was a no-show. Garrett even tested her how's timing, but got no answer. Yeah, so she knew what was going on. Man, you damn devils or something else, man. Everything coming y'all way, y'all deserve it. Instead of going to Hopgood, Templeton had spent the afternoon gathering the petitions, then heading to Rutherford County Juvenile Detention Center, a 2-tiered jail for children with dozens of surveillance cameras, 48 cells, and 64 beds. There she waited for the kids to be brought to her. So she at the damn jail waiting for the kids while she sent the other cops to do the dirty work. Dragging some screaming and crying children. In Rutherford County, a juvenile court judge had been directing police on what she called our process for arresting children and she appointed a jailer who employed a filtered system to determine which children to hold. The judge was proud of what she had helped build, despite some alarming numbers buried in state reports. Among cases referred to juvenile court, the statewide average for how often children were locked up was 5%. In Rutherford County, it was 48%. Rutherford County locked up kids in almost half its cases. So they're just punishing Jake out there in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Tennessee had to publish statistical reports on juvenile court statewide for the last year available, 2014. We compiled reports of all 98 courts. Rutherford County locked up kids in 48% of its cases, eclipsing every other jurisdiction. Okay, let's skip down some. If the essential principal at Hobgood, the officer telling Garrett not to get the kids was Chris Williams. Williams, who is black, had been in Murfreesboro cop for 5 years. What in the world he thought when he learned that what these words were about? So it was Jake. I'm assuming Jake was the one that then called in that day. At Hobgood, 2/3 of the students were black and Latino. 2/3 black and Latino. Jake, Israelites. William wondered if such arrests would be made at a school that was mostly white. He had a daughter who was 9. He pictured her being arrested. This is going to blow up, he thought. I'm going to end up in federal court over this. He considered quitting, but instead tried to get someone to intervene. Tucked in an office corner, he called a sergeant, a lieutenant, and a major, but couldn't find anyone to call it off. So Jake know deep down that this shit was wrong. He knew it, but his higher ups, pressed on with it and wouldn't call it off. To let you know this whole system is corrupt. That's why I'm so glad it's going down. This motherfucker burn, man. The officer's not saying anything was Albert Miles III. Growing up, Miles, who is black, damn. They sent Jake to do all the dirty work. Had friends who hated the police, but Miles' dad was a cop. Miles wanted to prove the police could be trusted. That afternoon, Miles had been pulled out of a roll call along with another officer. A sergeant told the two to go arrest some kids at Hobgood. The sergeant didn't say why, but at Hobgood, Miles started picking up details. Miles, too, wondered if these arrests would happen at a school full of white students. Of course not. That's the crazy part about it. Jake take part in Esau's system knowing it's unjust and unright. And what they doing is wrong as hell. They'll enroll in the military, go overseas to a country and help Esau terrorize these people, knowing these people didn't deserve that shit, but yet they'll do it. Why? For their money, for their job, to further their career. And it's the same thing. Jake know there's some bullshit. And he questioning would it be done at an Edomite school, and he know it wouldn't be. But yet to keep his job, he gonna participate in his wrongdoing. And they purposely picked 2 so-called black men to do this. Why? Because they knew something like this would take place. Because imagine if it was 2 Edomite cops. That's probably why the main chick, 9 times out of 10, she's an Edomite. That's why she was at the jail waiting for him to be brought in. And they sent 2 Jakes to go do the dirty work. The third officer at Hobgood was Jeff Carroll. He had been pulled out a roll call with Miles. Carroll, who is white, who was a patrol officer and SWAT team member. In evaluation, supervisors praised him as a leader, cool under pressure. Carroll also had no idea what these arrests were about, but his sergeant had ordered them, and he followed orders. Carroll was the officer telling the principal, go get the kids. Garrett asked if she could call their parents first. Carroll told her no. Garrett told the police that one girl had diabetes and got treatment when she arrived home after school. Please, the principal said, let me call a parent on this. The police ultimately compromised, saying the girl could get a shot in the nurse's office before being taken to jail. Man, you damn Edomites, man. Wicked. All this for now for watching them fight. Not even being in a fight, but watching it. Something that kids do all around America. Hell, you damn devils charge and make good money for pay-per-view fights, to watch fights. But now they got to go to prison for watching a fight. It wasn't even really a fight. It was some damn 5 and 6-year-old babies hitting another older kid. And as you remember reading in the story, The older kid was simply walking away. They was hitting them. You can't even classify that as a fight. Of the two officers telling Garrett what to do, get the kids, don't get the kids. Carol seemed the more aggressive. Of course, Esau was more aggressive. The principal would say later she agreed to get the kids. Having these arrests take place at Hobgood was not something school officials wanted. They wanted kids to feel safe at school. Garrett grew up poor. 9/10 of her students were poor. Years before, Hobgood had struggled academically. Now it was celebrated success. Garrett and her staff had worked to build trust with parents, with students. I don't give up on kids, Garrett says. But she knew the trust is fragile and trauma endures. As Garrett gathered the girls from her classroom, she believed the police would at least avoid a spectacle. School let out at 2:30. That was minutes away. Garrett's understanding was that the police would keep the girls in the office until school was dismissed and everyone else was gone. Garrett rounded up the sixth grader, a tall girl with braids who had vision of becoming a police officer. One of the fourth graders, the girl with the diabetes, and the 8-year-old third grader. In the hallway, the principal tried to prepare them, saying the police were there regarding a video of a fight. Hearing this, the sixth grader told Garrett that the two other girls haven't even been there. After returning to the office with the three girls, Garrett relayed to the police what the sixth grader had told her. Her words were barely out when Carol made it clear he had enough. Garrett said later when interviewed as a part of a returning police investigation. Carol pulled out handcuffs and put them right in my face, Garrett recalls. And he said, we're going now. There's no more talk. We're going now. And I said, but, man, you Edomites are wicked. So the two Jakes really didn't want to be with it. And then Esau, he was full out with it. Garrett yelled at her. Make sure I'm still recording. Garrett yelled at her. Garrett said she felt intimidated, bullied, and worried that if she said any more, she might be arrested herself, so I backed off. But by now, the girls were crying and screaming and reaching for the principal, who was also crying, as was the assistant principal, and it was awful, Garrett later said. Carol handcuffed the sixth grader. Later asked why. He said because policy allowed him to. After being handcuffed, the sixth grader fell to her knees. Miles handcuffed the 8-year-old with pigtails, just acting out of habit. He said later, walking to a patrol car, Miles stopped and thought, wait a minute, and removed the cuffs. I guess my brain finally caught up to what was going on. While Carol drove these two girls to jail, the fourth grader with diabetes stayed behind to see the nurse. She was sisters with the sixth grader. Her initials were CC. Okay, I ain't gonna read no more of it. I will leave it in the description, but it's a long read. I just wanted to read, key parts of this. Okay. I wanted to read key parts so we can get the gist of what it was about. Okay. Let's see. But this is some bull, man. Let me read this part about the parents. Left. Okay, that's the playground, the jail. The playground at Hogwarts Elementary, right, Rutherford County Juvenile Detention. Miles brought in the last two girls, the two fourth graders. Then, walking out to his patrol car, he ran to an angry parent, Miles would recall later. It was a father demanding answers. Miles dropped his head, shaking it. The father asked, why was this happening? I don't know, Miles answered. We are good people, the father said. I can only imagine what you're feeling, Miles answered. He explained briefly the juvenile court process. This is wrong, the father told Miles over and over. After the third time, Miles, fighting back tears, said he understood as a parent himself the father's pain and anger. Fuck you, the father said. I understand, Miles answered. Only later, when he returned to the police station, did Miles allow himself to cry. Wow. Chapter 2. This the bitch right here. This the Edomite. Look at that devil, man. That's the damn judge that got all this shit started. Judge Donna Davenport. Look at that neck. Damn, this shit started moving. I thought it was a damn still picture. Damn, I'm like, damn, the demon moving. This is crazy, man. This is freaking crazy. This is so crazy. This is. I'm almost at a lot for words. I'm almost at a loss for words, man. Like I said, it's a very long read, but it's a good read. I would definitely, most definitely, put it in the link to this article in the description box. Now let's get into these scriptures. Get on these damn Edomites, man. You wicked ass Jakes, man, who partake in this system, man. You're gonna be destroyed. Like the scripture say, no hand join in hand. You're gonna be thrust through with Esau. Okay? Matter of fact, hold on. You're talking about you wicked Jakes, y'all attached to Esau through this system. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. All you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that want to uplift this system, work for this system, take on the wicked deeds of this system when you know it's unrighteous, you're going to be thrust through with Esau. And this is another one for you wicked Jakes. Like, where Black caught Miles in the article, he knew he was wrong. That's why the father said fuck him. He couldn't do nothing but agree with it. He put his head down. He said he got back to the office by himself. He cried. Okay, this is Exodus 23:2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. And that was evil what he did. Why? He followed the Edomite crowd to rule the system. Okay, he followed orders of his damn Edomite lieutenants and sergeants and all these higher ups, and he did evil. That was evil. That's why he cried. Okay, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Okay, so he knew he was wrong, but what he do? He followed the multitude to do evil. Okay. Now we're getting on you, Esau, and your wicked ass system. It's Isaiah 10, and we're going to start at verse 1. Woe. Woe means death and destruction, okay? Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. That's an unrighteous decree, that you're going to lock some damn children up for a crime that doesn't even exist, watching the fight. You got whole networks built off watching fights. UFC network. Y'all make hundreds of billions of dollars watching fights. And it really can't even be classified as a fight. It was more like, what did it say back in the day? Passing a lick. You had two babies passing a lick at an older child. Something kids do, but yet you want to round up all these little black girls and take them to a fucking prison. Okay? Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees that write grievous which they have prescribed. And that's grievous. Making up them bullshit laws to lock those children up. Okay, traumatizing them. Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment and take away the right from the poor of my people. Okay, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. So you Edomites got hell to pay. Okay, you got straight hell to pay. I'm going to read verse 3. And what will ye do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from afar? You damn Edomites, because you're going to have to pay for all this. What you going to do when your house shy and the angels run down on you? Okay. To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave glory? Okay. So, you Edomites got hell to pay. Okay. And precious little America is crumbling down. We've been telling you, studying with our elders, and I've been saying in my videos the last few years, especially when I don't really have trolls no more. We used to have them Edomite trolls used to come on the page, talk junk, spew their madness. And I would tell them, leave us alone and go enjoy the last few seconds of your kingdom. This was 2, 3, 4 years ago we've been saying this, particularly me in my videos. Leave us alone and enjoy the last few seconds of the kingdom. Now look at you. You got to wear a face diaper everywhere you go. You're losing your jobs because you don't want to take the juice. Okay. You're in school board meetings, trying to stick up for your kids because you don't want them to take the juice, wear the face diaper all day. I seen a video last week of an Edomite being slammed to the ground and drug out of a school board meeting. Okay, your kingdom is falling, and you falling right into the plans of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, and you finna fall head first into slavery as well. Okay, so this is Lamentations 4:17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. And watching, we have watched a nation that cannot save us. These Edomites can't save us. They won't save us. Okay? They are the devil that the Bible speaks of. Okay, they set up all these crazy laws and unrighteous decrees. And we ain't seen really nothing yet. Y'all President Joe Biden finna get crazy with the draconian unrighteous laws. Okay? If it come a time soon, you ain't gonna be able to go in that damn grocery store and you ain't juiced up. Among other things, you already seen what he doing with the ports. Somebody gonna hold the ports, hold the food in the shipment till everybody juiced up. Okay, verse 18. They hunt our steps. And that's what they did in this article we just read. They hunted these children's steps. Okay, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Verse 19, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. Okay? These Edomites want blood, man. They want our kids. They're attacking our kids on every level with prison terms, with drugs, with the damn cartoon, homosexual. Okay, you got the Lil Nas X. I seen Lil Nas a picture of Instagram today. Lil Nas X with damn Elmo. You tell me they ain't attack on the kids. You crazy. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. Verse 20. The breath of our nostrils, the anointing of our Lord Yahweh, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. So you Edomites, man, y'all unrighteous as hell, and y'all got hell to pay. Okay, I'm glad to see this damn place fall, because y'all wicked as hell. Make sure I'm still recording. Y'all wicked as hell. It's Psalms 10, and I'm going to start at verse 2. The wicked are you damn Edomites. Okay? You've been following along long enough. You know when the Bible it describes the wicked, it's talking about the so-called Edomites. Matter of fact, just in case we got someone new here, let's prove that. It's Malachi 1. We're going to prove who the wicked is. We're going to go right back to the Psalms, though. It's Malachi 1, we're going to start at verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord Yahweh? Yet I love Jacob's progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called black African Americans, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay? Verse 3, and I hated Esau, the so-called progenitor of what you know as the white race today, the Edomites, and lay his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Verse 4, whereas Edom, that's talking about the whole nation, saith, we are impoverished, but we, not Esau, but we will return and build the desolate places, thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. So whatever y'all building, the Most High, Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, gonna throw it down, gonna bring it down. They shall build, but I will throw down. Here go the point. And they shall call them, a plural word, the border of wickedness. Okay, a border is the beginning and end of something. The border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh have indignation forever. And indignation is a righteous hatred. So the Most High hates you so-called white people. He has an indignation against y'all forever. And y'all gonna get Obadiah 1:18. Y'all gonna get burnt up and set on fire. Okay? But back to Psalms. Okay, we just had to prove who the wicked is. Psalms 10:2. The wicked, just prove that was the Edomites. The wicked in his pride do persecute the poor. And he persecuting those little black children. Even the guy in the black, so-called black guys in the article said, I wondered if it was happening. It was at an all-white school. You know the answer to that. That's why you pose the question to yourself. Deep down, not even deep down, you know for a fact that wouldn't happen. Okay, verse 2. I'm going to read it over again. The wicked in his pride do persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices they have imagined. It also goes for this going on with the juice. They'll imagine, that's why you in the beginning of this plan, then even now, but mainly in the beginning last year, who they say they wanted to eat juice so bad? The Israelites, the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, they planning this for us, but a lot of Jake ain't taking it. But when you go on TikTok and Instagram, who do you see being taken by their own devices? These Edomites. Who you seeing with myocarditis that and flare heart, dropping dead, shaking? You see mainly a lot of Edomites, so that's part of them being taken in the devices they have imagined. They imagine it to happen to our people, which are some of our people dumb and they taking it and want to take it. But a lot of their people being taken by that juice. Okay? Verse 3, for the wicked boast of his heart's desire, and blessed the covenants whom the Lord Yahweh abhors. Verse 4, the wicked through his pride of his countenance will not see after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. No, of course not. These devils, are thumbing up their nose at the Most High. So of course they're not going to seek the Most High. They can't seek the Most High because they're the wicked. Verse 5, his ways are always grievous. Always grievous. Whatever they do is not to help. Okay, it's to further destroy our people and our nation. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at him. And a lot of these nations, they getting their military might up, they getting their nuclear missiles, and they gonna puff back at you Edomites. Verse 6, he said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. And that's how proud these damn devils are. They thinking they're gonna be on top forever. They thinking won't nothing happen to them. But they sadly mistaken. Okay. Verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. And his media is part of his tongue too. And these devils been lying for the last, really since forever, but I'm just going to focus on the last 2 years, with what they got going on, wanting to get everybody juiced up, pushing those numbers up, His media is an extension of his mouth, okay? Verse 8, he sitteth in the lurking places of the village, in the secret places do he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. So even in this article I just read, you can see that they would not do this at an Edomite school. I guarantee you that juvenile facility they got, 75-80% of it black and Latino kids in there. Verse 9, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He do catch the poor when he draweth him into his net, or these unrighteous decrees. You locking up little black girls for watching 2 kids pass the lick to an older kid. Even as the article stated, the older kid was walking away because them little hits didn't affect him. Okay, that's how he catching you in your net, in his net. A web with lies and deceit. Verse 10, he croucheth and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. This Esau to a T. Okay, Esau to a T. I'm gonna end it on this one though. I ain't want to make it too long. I know I had to read a lot of that article. This Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, you so-called white man, woman, and child, the Edomites, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. What's in that cup? Slavery. That's first and foremost slavery. You gonna get done bad. Everything y'all did to us, we're gonna do double to y'all. In verse 22, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. It's talking about the Israelite. But this is our last captivity, our last slavery. We won't have to go through this ever again. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So y'all skirts being lifted up. Y'all sins are being discovered. They're reached up unto heaven. And it's time to pay the piper. Okay, Well, I'm going to leave this article in the description box, but I pray this lesson was found edifying. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.